All righty, it's going down, going down,
Going down.
Yeah, like they say in H time,
It's
it's going
going
down.
down.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Good
So what's good,
morning.
Mick? What's
Good
good?
morning. Man, listen. Bless the Lord at all times.
At all,
At all times.
Father God, we come to you
We
right
come
now.
to you, Lord,
Yes, yes.
on this Wednesday, Father God. Listen, we're gonna be happy on this Wednesday. We're gonna
Right.
claim the word of the day. The word of the day is happy.
You know what? I think we on this deal here. Let me change over because I think we should sound a little bit better right there.
Okay. Well, good morning to the people. It is Wednesday. It is Wisdom Wednesday. Remember, we said Wisdom Wednesday. Shout out to everybody who was rocking with us on this Wednesday. This is the Morning Tea Radio Show where we utilize this platform for businesses, entrepreneurs, those who are wanting to grow and enlarge your network and territory.
Hey, I hit that button. We sound pretty good.
Yeah,
now.
we sound good. Can you turn it down though?
Oh yeah. Let me get that feedback off of that. You know, get that. The queen say, let me get that feedback off of that.
Don't do it. Let's put the comments up too.
All
We
right.
got 15 comments.
Oh,
What's up,
man,
y'all? What's up, y'all? We appreciate y'all. Listen, do us a favor, share the live, introduce somebody,
Yes.
tag some people. Whatever it is, we want to bring as much exposure as we can to the Morning Tea Radio Show. Why? Because it not only helps us, but it also brings exposure to those who we have on our platform.
Right.
So not only do we utilize the platform for businesses, entrepreneurs, those who want to grow,
Right.
we also have Morning Tea topics, things that happen each and every day.
They be sizzling hot too.
Every day.
Ooh.
And I always say, if an experience has not knocked on your door, keep on living, because you just never know.
9 times out of that,
it's
10,
coming.
you're gonna be boop boop boop.
It's coming.
Hello.
And at least when it does come, you can have you can revert back to some of our shows, some of our perspectives, because sometimes I tell people, your perspective may change based off the conversation we have.
Mine have changed.
Yeah, mine has as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to go back and say, let me make my wrong right. I didn't handle that right.
You know what? And that's gonna be a phrase for the day.
Yeah.
Let's challenge people to write some of their at least one.
Yeah.
Write at least one wrong.
Yeah.
That you know.
And I think we can all go back and reflect on some of the things, some of our life's decisions and our life choices. I had to, sometimes I have conversations or some things may take place or some things may happen. And it's like, we don't want people to know us for who we used to be.
Yeah.
We want people to know us for who we've grown to be.
Yeah.
Accept me for who I am today.
I ain't that same case.
Right. Like, don't label me and keep me labeled.
Yeah,
because sometimes I've done some wrong things to some people.
Yeah.
And that was in a time where I was immature. I didn't know any better. I didn't know how to you get in that mindset of, man, I'm not wrong.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've always been one to try to make sure that I admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't admit, but I wouldn't come to you and say I admit it to myself. And
Mika, you was wrong.
Yeah,
but we ain't gonna tell
nobody. I'm not raising that white flag.
Oh man,
yeah,
Jesus,
that was me.
But
see, I was immature.
But I'm quick. I've always been like that. Quick, I guess, because the way we was brought up.
Yeah.
Mom had a nursery.
Yeah.
So we had to apologize
Yeah.
if we hurted the kid or whatever. We had to look them in their face. We had to, you see what you done to them, you know?
Yeah.
So I was raised to like apologize to, you know, if you done wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just part of my bringing up.
Well, in the younger days, you know, and I don't want to say that I didn't stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But however, in some cases and not all cases, but in some cases,
you didn't want nobody to tell you nothing.
I was stubborn to believe that I was right when I was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to admit that you're wrong, so you're gonna keep defending why you're right.
Yeah.
But now I could look at the situations and the scenarios and be like, you know what, you could have handled that differently.
So I say, you know, first off, let's start with God. We got to right at least one wrong
for sure
with God,
for sure.
And then we write at least one wrong and right, and I relate with us, with us first, with yourself.
Yeah,
right. You got to right or wrong with self,
right,
and then right or wrong with your significant
or anybody. It don't even have to be
but I'm going in order.
Oh, okay.
I'm going in order.
Okay.
I'm going
significant.
Significant other. Then your kids,
and
then what everything else after that.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So that's the word of the day.
Phrase of the day.
The phrase of the day.
Right.
Making your wrong right.
Yeah.
Making your wrong
at least one wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. You a queen.
No, stop.
Queen.
Stop it.
Queen, you own it.
So listen, last week, shout out to everybody who was tagging. Shout out to Kimberly.
Yeah.
Kim is always making sure people don't miss the morning tea. So shout out to her. Shout out to Jay, all my besties, my nonprofit business besties that's rocking with us this morning. And everybody who rocks with GMT Radio, myself, Nika Diamond, or K Nice. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Whether you catch the replay, we appreciate you as well. But listen, last week we had Jay of Jordan's Heart that was on last week, who gave us an amazing story, a journey of why she created Jordan's Heart. And she has an event that's coming up, a family fest this weekend. Because I don't want people to think you just coming to eat. It's a family fest.
Right.
For you to enjoy activities with resources, people there who will be able to help you in your life's journey. So you guys make sure that you stay connected. Amazing show with her journey and what she had to overcome, the obstacles that she had to overcome, and just how good God is.
And then let me say this here too. Again, never judge a book by its cover, because when she came on, I would have never thought that. First of all, she went to jail. Just by her look, I never would have thought that she had been to jail. You know. So and to be a woman
and endure
all the things that she endured, as far as losing a kid. And just to give you a brief synopsis of what happened, she lost her kids in an accident and was blamed because
they thought she was
under the influence. So she went to jail. Lost one of her kids that passed in the accident, and then one of them was in the hospital
in critical condition.
And then one of them seen everything. So traumatized by that. And so to endure all of that and to make it to a point to where now I want to take that and help people. That's
make a major impact.
Man, I don't know. I don't my mindset, I probably would have been mad at the world.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely have to go through the challenges and the stages of that entire process. So we definitely want to appreciate her. Shout out to my cousin Shelly, who is on from Louisiana. Thank you so much for joining us. What up, cousin? But we appreciate it. So what you do over the weekend?
You know what? Chill.
Okay, I did.
I try to get that downtime. Now, I'm learning to try to give me at least one day. Of course, I'm gonna work, for sure. But I'm trying to learn how to give me one day and just to me, bless myself with one day. One day. You definitely have to. And I try to. So Saturday I went to Angel Surviving Cancer, did my service work early in the day. And then we did prayer boards at that event. And then also later that afternoon, I was with my Pretty Girls Rock sisters. Shout out to Rhonda Prince. We went to the Red Cat Jazz Cafe. Come on.
It's now downtown, located in downtown Houston, and it's been gone for a minute. But
how you get the energy to do all this stuff that you be doing?
Well, I got to make an impact. I gotta be.
You be in them what streets?
I'll be out here in these streets. However, I really had a good time on Saturday. It wasn't necessarily work. It was really good and having a good time. So I appreciate it. But baby, I woke up on Sunday morning. From them boots on the ground Saturday night. And my body felt like I got hit by a truck. Baby,
I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to keep my boots in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to keep the boots in.
Yeah.
But no, I had an amazing weekend. I also wanted to say thank you all so much for your support on yesterday. Yesterday was a hard day for me.
Yeah.
And I got so many text messages, so many prayers. I just wanted to share. I appreciate each and every one of you who reached out to me, those who called and checked, because I found myself slipping yesterday. And when I say slipping, I found myself slipping into a dark place of anger, of emotions, didn't want to talk to nobody,
Right.
and all of those different things. And so it really, you just know when people are praying for you for real,
right,
how you can definitely you can come out of it. If you just see a peak of the clouds separate, it makes a huge difference. And so shout out to everybody who loved on my brother yesterday. For those who don't know, it was the anniversary date of his death on yesterday.
Wow.
So it was a really hard day for my mom, taking in the emotions of the family, the children. It just was a really, really hard day. So shout out to everybody who rocked with me, who said prayers and all of that on yesterday.
One thing I'm gonna say about that, and sometimes you just have to have mercy on yourself and allow yourself just to go through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
that's
what
the key
happened.
word,
that's what happened.
To go through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
that's what happened.
So, sure.
And
not trying to brush it off.
No.
But sometimes you just have to just allow yourself just to, okay, I'm just feeling
the way that I'm feeling.
Feeling the way that I'm feeling and just go through it. And trusting God that God is gonna bring you out of that that situation.
Sure.
And
he did. He did. And you know what I will share, and then we'll get off of this subject because I don't want to make this about my yesterday.
Right.
However, I did understand that grief comes and goes.
Yes.
Because how I was yesterday, I wasn't this way the year before. I mean, I had some emotions about it, but yesterday just took a toll. I mean, I don't know the reasoning, but for those who may be going through, and like I was sharing with my sister, sometimes grief is not just death.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could be grieving of a relationship. You could be grieving of a mother. You could be grieving from a father that's actually here, but you don't have that nurture relationship.
Man, I'm going through that now, but
yeah. So you just have to allow the things to happen and not sweep it up underneath the rug and try to cover it up, because it is going to seep out at some time. So
and this too shall pass.
Yeah, for sure. And then shout out to T Cake, because T Cake, my first co-host on the Morning Tea radio show. She saw the post yesterday and said, Mika, I'm coming.
Yeah.
And she showed up.
Yeah.
She showed up. And so we got a chance to talk and laugh and talk about some things. So just wanted to say that I really, truly appreciate everybody who gave me grace on yesterday. And today is a new day. Today is a new day. So listen, y'all, we got some entertainment news, and we're going to get into this entertainment news, and then we're going to let our guests come on and do a soft introduction, because I want her to be in on the second part of the conversation. But there is a wax of Beyonce. Woke up like this. Beyonce new wax figure has the Beehive swarming with mixed reviews. So what the people is saying, while some fans are all about it, saying the figure is on point, others aren't feeling it, claiming it doesn't really capture the Queen Bee's true vibe. The figure has her iconic style with a killer outfit and a fierce pose, but many are saying the face doesn't quite match the real life Beyonce.
So what is it, Queen?
It's Queen. It's Woke Up Like This. It's the new Beyonce. It's called, what is it called? Queen Bee's Truth. I don't know what it's called, nice, but whatever it is, it's a new wax figure. I want to say that it's in Florida, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, the Beehive is saying that it don't look like Bee, and when you look at it, it really does not look like Bee. The face don't look like Bee. So if y'all Google it, you'll see she got her style.
I'm trying to see
she
right
does not
now.
have
I'm trying
face.
to bring that thing up.
I wish we had it. We should have popped it up on the screen.
Yeah, that's what. So let me see.
But yeah, so that's Beehive. That's the Beehive. I know Bee don't play. Her Beehive don't play about her.
So
It's this one. It's the one. It's the one with the red background, and she got the Texas the jacket on. The face, it looks like her from a distance, but kind of if you pull it up to her face, it look a little different. No, people can't see that. And this is another thing with entertainment news, and then we'll it's something that happened in Houston. However, what they are saying, allegedly, Angie Stone got killed supposedly in a car crash last week. Well, now they're saying allegedly that they're investigating it as a crime scene. And let me tell you why they're investigating as a crime scene. What they're saying now is that the driver, it was reckless driving. And allegedly, they show the driver at the event having alcohol.
See that?
So now it then turned into something completely different from it was an accidental car crash. Now they're investigating because they do have pictures or the bar. I don't know who shared or whatever the case may be, but they are saying now that that it was reckless and he was having alcohol, and allegedly the driver is on the run.
I thought Angie Stone was still alive because I seen a video of her saying they said that she was saying that they said that she was dead, but she wasn't really dead. But I guess that was an old video.
Yeah.
No, I had seen it. It's a bit. I sent it to my wife.
Yeah, no.
So it's a video where she was
definitely has passed. I actually watched. I was getting braids done last week. I watched her entire funeral.
So I guess that might have been an old video.
Yeah, it must have been
because it's a video out with her saying,
"Wow."
Like they think they saying I'm dead and I'm not dead, but
maybe that was before.
But on this picture with Beyonce, that looked like Beyonce. I don't know what people talking about.
Yeah, Beehive ain't liking it. They not feeling it.
How is that not? That look like Beyonce.
So y'all tell us. Y'all go when you have time today. Sometime today, go check out the new wax.
All you gotta do is Google Beyonce wax figure 2025.
Yeah, and let us know in the comments if y'all catch the replay or if y'all look at it after the show. Go back and tell us. So we're gonna get into a quick song real quick, and when we come back, we got Lady D that's gonna pop in with us, and then we also got some Houston news. It is some crazy folks in Houston, Texas. So y'all make sure that y'all keep it locked right here on the Morning Tea Radio Show with myself, Mika Diamond,
and your boy Kate Nisi.
All right, we'll be right back.
Oh my God, it's your song. Oh my God, turn it up. DLS Music, YSL, Freddie Fontaine, we Martian, slag out.
To really clean me up, 'cause I was dirty. You got me out the bed, 'cause I was dirty. Walking around thinking like I wasn't dirty. Say you rushed to roulette with your grace and mercy. 'Cause I'm sorry, I wanna be clean. I don't know what other people do it better than me. That your brain is strong, I'm free. Now that I'm free, you got a vessel of me. I'm so glad you cleaned me up.
All right, y'all. We are live back on the Morning Tea Radio Show. That was Dirty by the Martians. Shout out to them. If you want to get this song, definitely go on your streaming platforms and find it. It is even on Instagram. If you want to use it for your reels, for your videos, y'all can go ahead and do that. We got some more music that we're going to start playing as well. But listen, we got a guest that's on today. She is no stranger from the Morning Tea Radio Show. She's been rocking with me since the beginning. 7 years ago, she was one of my guests, my host on Sip and Trip Fridays with some amazing guests. So we're going to bring her back to the stage. She has her own media platform going on. So y'all welcome to the stage, Lady D.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. So I call her Lady D. She is Apostle Donette.
That's right.
I want to make sure that the people know who your title.
Yeah.
However, I call her Lady D because
when you say apostle, we start doing like this. We start brushing.
No.
You know, the song "Dirty" was on. We try to get clean. We
we clean. No, she knows me. She knows me.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about when they say apostle. Everybody start trying to clean up.
Yeah, not me.
They start putting the salt up. They put the pepper up.
Some dirty apostles too. Yeah. Now, don't get it twisted. It's somebody.
I'm a real one. When I keep it 100. Listen, we go through life challenges like everybody else.
Yeah.
We get frustrations, anger issues. Just listen. I don't know where y'all want me to go because know.
Yeah. Oh no, we got a whole we got a whole lot to talk about on today.
Okay.
Today. But first, thank you so much for rocking with us on this Wednesday morning. Yes. Joining in at 7:00. This is nothing new to you. You know how this goes. So we're gonna have a great conversation on today. But listen, before we get into the morning tea topic and talking to Lady D, I got some Houston news, and I want each and every one of y'all. Shout out to my cousin from Aisha, who's from Austin, Texas, who's rocking with us this morning. But listen, Houston news: 3 teen girls try to stab mom for turning off Wi-Fi. Check this out. 3 teenage girls allegedly attacked their mom and tried to stab her with a kitchen knife because she turned off the Wi-Fi. According to authorities, the 3 siblings, ages 14, 15, and 16, allegedly coordinated a plan to try and kill their mother. Because the mom turned off the Wi-Fi, the teens allegedly grabbed kitchen knives Sunday night and chased their mother through their Houston home and into the street. One of the girls threw a brick that hit her 39-year-old mom in the ankle, and the girl's 70-year-old grandmother was knocked over while attempting to protect the mom. The mother and the grandmother were not seriously hurt. The sheriff said the 3 siblings were arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and were booked into the Harris County Juvenile Detention Center.
See that? When you said 39, that already told me right there. When you said age 39, the mama. All this is
14,
okay.
15, and 16.
So she had the kids, what, 19?
Yeah.
Which I'm not tripping on, because
Yeah.
I have. But when you trying to be your kid's best friend,
Yeah, that's the issue.
that's the type of things that happen right there.
Well, and I don't even think that could be one reason.
Man,
but
come
the
on.
children of today are different.
Yeah.
Today's children.
Yeah.
They
My
are
children
different.
early.
Yeah. They
But then too, again, I can honestly say, see, like the grandmama was old. The grandmama was in there. She older. They ain't do nothing because they could have attacked the grandmama.
Well, the grandmother didn't turn off the Wi-Fi.
No, but I'm saying though, just listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They could have attacked, but the younger parents, and I'm gonna keep it 100 done. It's how you bring them up.
Yeah.
It's
True.
how you bring them
There's
up.
definitely a different respect factor
That's
and
it
level
right there.
from when we were growing up,
Man, what?
from the today's kids. But the fact that y'all plan to stab your mama behind the Wi-Fi, I can't get past the fact that y'all planned this to chase your mama in the street with a knife because she turned off the Wi-Fi. And you know what? I wonder what's going to happen when this is all said and done. Because if I was the mama, they all 3 would sitting there. Ain't no bond to get out. Now y'all gonna stay there for a minute.
Man.
Whatever the consequences are. Because at the end of the day, I would not, and I don't have any kids. However, I can't live in a house where I gotta hold my eye open because I don't know if you're gonna get mad one day and you're gonna stab me in my sleep.
But I'm telling you from a father. I'm telling you from raising kids.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from a father's standpoint. And it's got to do with the daddy not being there too.
Yeah, but it also
I'm saying, like, we got to keep it 100. Like these kids, mama's raising kids by themselves in these days. It's just hard. It's just
but it's hard for dads too, though.
I'm not trying. I'm talking about the situation that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That, man, this like raising these kids and that's a lack of respect because of how you raised them.
Yeah, it's a lack of respect. First of all, the respect level, like I said, is totally different. Adults are not demanding respect like they did back in the day.
And that's the whole thing.
There's certain things that I would never do. I am 46, about to be 47 years old.
Yeah. And
I still don't cuss in front of my mom.
Exactly.
I still don't.
I'm 52.
And if I'm about to say, I say, Mama, excuse me. If I'm explaining something that had, I say, excuse me, but there's just not a line, a boundary when it comes to, but I just could not believe that. And I was like, okay, not that it mattered just because it was in Houston, but the simple fact that behind the Wi-Fi.
Shoot, imagine if you would have took their phone.
The Wi-Fi.
If she would have took their phones.
Oh my God.
It probably would have been a murder.
Anyway, yeah, it probably would.
Apostle, what you think about? What you thinking about this?
Listen, I got 6 girls and 2 boys, and I listened to you what you said, but I had children early, and I was not their friend. Now we were close because now I started having babies young because of my history. What got me right. So, but my daughters, we're not going now. We're not going now. We're not.
Yeah.
Listen, put Apostle to the side. Put Lady D. We're gonna talk about .net. .net deal with disrespectful children in that manner. I've had a situation with my kids, but they were grown and gone. They were grown and out, and I dealt with them the way it needed to be dealt with. But no, I don't. As being the mother, and I know I'm about forgiveness, I would forgive them, but they would sit there and then out. They're gonna figure out how they're gonna get Wi-Fi, housing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I would not.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like how you speaking already. How you speaking is demanding. You gonna respect my house.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Regardless of how close we are, regardless of whatever, you gonna respect my house. And I think a lot of that flies out the window when you trying to be their best friend.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
You
let
know.
me. So, and I don't want to stay on this too long. However, my mother was my best friend. She's one of my best
With
friends.
limits.
However, because it's a fine line. It's a fine line in certain situations.
Yes.
Because although my mother was my best friend, she made me. I shouldn't say she made me. She opened up that relationship to the point to where I feel like, and still feel like, I can tell her anything, right? I told her things that some children or some teens wouldn't have told their parent, but she made that relationship open and a safe space for me to be who I was. However, I still had respect. And I think what's happening now is that because of some women in certain cases, and even some men are in a house where they're raising their children as a single parent. And so they don't understand how to have that boundary, which being their friend, but also having the respect and the demand of, I'm also your mother,
Right.
you know?
Yes.
And the kids are taking advantage of that. They're
Right.
taking advantage of mama doing the TikTok videos with me. And, you know, she's wearing these certain things. And so they're taking the attitude, well, why I gotta have respect for you if this is what you do? They're seeing things that they probably shouldn't see. And so those are the things too. But then also, let's go further than that. The grandmother, did the daughter have a influence of how she was raised?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, if her grandmother was in a single home, if her mom was in a single home and she's seen some things, this is what she learned. It was a learned behavior,
Right.
you know. So it's so many scenarios to the situation. However, the bottom line is they wrong.
I'm gonna tell you this.
They
I'm
wrong.
gonna tell you this, and then we can move on. I don't care how my mama raised me. That's cool. All that's cool. But when I had my kids, it was different.
And it was how was it different though?
You not like one time. I'm gonna just give you one plain
Mhm.
example. One time, my daughter's cousin came to the house.
Mhm.
First of all, take off that hat, homie, because you're not coming in my house with that. That's
Mhm.
first of all. So I'm gonna demand that respect from the get-go.
There you go.
Then you walk in, and then you think you finna walk to her room. Nah, partner, where you going? We don't do that here.
But your mama let you do that.
Mom, I had company, whatever.
Yeah.
I had company. My mom was
But
like,
at that point, you grown and you make your own decisions on how you want your household ran.
And that's the thing right there. I looked at how I wanted my household ran.
Yeah.
You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? This didn't have nothing to do with my mama. As a man, I'm looking at this is the
That's
structure
what you
of my
want.
house.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But there are some things that you took from being raised that you took to your house. It may not have been that situation.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. So some people take it as a learned behavior.
Right.
Some people take it as a learned from.
And then men are gonna function a little bit because I watched this video with this little boy. He was on the table. It was on Instagram, and his mama was saying, "Get down off the table." And he was just looking at his mama. And then she said, "Do you want a whooping?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then his dad said, you can hear him in the background. He said, "Boy, get your." And when he said that,
he got off the table.
He didn't hit him or nothing. He just got off the table and started crying.
Yeah.
You know, so it was
different.
He knew the difference between the mom
for sure.
And
I'm a firm believer in you give them an inch, they're gonna take a foot.
Man.
You give them an inch, they're gonna take them a foot.
Now that I'm gonna agree with you on.
That you know, but anyway, as a
so
parent,
would you do TikTok videos and stuff with your kids? I'm just asking you. Would you twerk? Would you do all that with your kids?
Okay. It's certain things I wouldn't do. Now, some of the YouTube videos with the kids are cute.
Yeah.
You know, but twerk. The adult things should not be done with my kids.
Gotcha.
That's how I feel about it. Adult things, they shouldn't be seen by my kids.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's how I would have raised my kids. Like there's adult time, there's kid time. This is your line right here. So yeah, because you don't want them to be able to get those things, although they're gonna do what they want to do anyway, when they can, if they can. However, you still want to develop that relationship where you are firm, but there's a line that's drawn. I mean, you are approachable. You are a parent that they can talk to about different things, but there's also a line that has to be drawn when it comes to them as a parent. So we're going to get into a commercial break, y'all. And when we come back from this commercial, we're going to talk more, get all the tea from Lady D. And then we got an interesting morning tea topic that I know Lady D is going to run with because she's had a whole series on this topic, but we're going to dig deep
and we're going to get all the tea because there's variations of what we're going to discuss. So y'all make sure that y'all keep it right there. Keep it locked. Do not go anywhere. We're going to get this commercial. We'll be right back with Lady D.
Here at T&D Tax Service LLC, we offer a full service of business from tax preparation, tax planning, business bookkeeping, business coaching, company setup, payroll, and money management, along with credit restoration. We are highly trained with proven ability to communicate well with diverse groups, individuals, corporations, and small businesses. We will get the job done. Contact us today at 281-856-6568, or we can also be reached at any social media. If you're starting a business, we can help you get the job done. At T&D Tax Service, our motto is, when you start off right, you end up right.
Are you looking for a solution for dry hair? At Emoki, our proprietary rose water and blends of essential oils of rosemary, lavender, tea tree, mint, and jasmine cater to all hair types and textures, beards included, leaving your hair soft and healthy. So get Emoki. For more information, visit our website at emokeed.com. That's EMOKEED. Now go get Emoki.
Hey, we are live back in the studio. Want to definitely give a shout out to my mom because I know she's checking us out on YouTube. So shout out to my mama who gave me that topic, that information. If y'all know her, y'all know she will send me some stuff to talk about. So she wanted me to send me the Houston news. So shout out to her for rocking with the morning tea. But listen, before we get into what we're going to talk about today's topic, I want Lady D to formally introduce herself to everybody who's tuned in, who's rocking with us on this morning, so that you guys will know who she is. She's going to share a little bit later on in the show what she has coming up in the month of April. But Lady D, go ahead and tell us who you are, and then tell us, because she's had this series of forgiveness, right? And the morning tea topic today is when forgiveness feels impossible. That's what we're going to talk about. There's several variations of forgiveness. And then we have to learn how to do this every day. Right. We have to learn how to do that. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody. And what made you come up with the series of forgiveness?
All right. Good morning again, everyone. Like we have spoken, they call me Lady D. I'm Apostle D to some, and I love my middle name, simply Cherie to others. But because I'm a mother of 8, I have 6 girls and 2 boys, and I've had a lot of interesting interaction with my daughters. And as they became adults, when they became adulting, they never were disrespectful, but I had some situations that happened when they became adults because they've got some anger issues, friends, different type of things. So I got into a situation where I was angry with them. I didn't want to talk to them. This just was a serious time in our life. And so at that time, the Lord began to deal with me on forgiveness. I had to really forgive my children. I didn't know that that's something that would ever come up in my life, where you have to actually forgive your children because of how close we were. I had a very close bond with my kids, but I understood that life happens when they begin to interact with outsiders. And so that's how, and then one of my daughters, she was the baby girl. And because the situations happened with the oldest sisters, she was very, very impacted, and she became angry on the inside. And anger led her into some mental health issues. And so when I had to begin to walk with her journey, I found out that forgiveness is crucial. It's bigger than what I thought. And so that's what led me into the forgiveness movement. But to help people to navigate through those emotions that sit and saturate.
Right.
On a life, our children, when we're looking at what our children are going through now versus what we went through, because I'm 49 versus what my children went through, these children don't know how to navigate through their emotions, and a lot of mental issues are breaking forth. Anger, and they don't know how to talk to their parents and say, I'm angry. You know, that's how this dysfunctional things are coming to place, and children are actually, attacking their parents. And so those are the things that hit my heart. And so it's very my heart, this forgiveness movement.
And you know what? I think so. And this is going to be, because I know, the human side, and then you also know the spiritual side, right? sometimes when I came up with the topic, when forgiveness feels impossible, it's because there are certain instances, there are certain things that has happened in life where we don't know how to understand what forgiveness means, forgiveness and forget.
Yeah.
That's very hard to do, right? Because sometimes we feel like we've forgiven someone, but because we haven't forgotten what they've done, we really haven't. So how do you know, based on what you have went through, based on your trials, based on what your children have shared, from a spiritual standpoint, first explain what forgiveness means in the eyesight of God. And then also, how do you know if you really have forgiven somebody?
Well, I think sometimes we take it too literal. Forgiveness means to release somebody from a debt. In other words, you feel they owe you an apology. You feel like they owe you, whatever it is that that situation took place, even when you want to get even, with that person. So you just releasing them from anything and everything that you want to do to that person. You're just going to release it. I'm not really into saying, I don't know where they come from, forget it, because it's going to be in your mind, because it's an experience you had, right? And so sometimes that doesn't mean I told my mother I was going to be on this morning. Mean that you have to forget the situation, but you are not, when it comes up, it doesn't make you angry, frustrated, like you got to retaliate, like you got to go back and say, listen, you did me wrong. You don't have to feel those emotions of hatred, those emotions of I got to get you, all of that rage, because I used to have rage and upset. Those are the things. But now I can think about when me and my daughter had got into it. But I don't have rage. Sometimes we can talk about it. And I can say, you remember this? Look how far we've come. Look how we overcame. Look at how, the discipline took place. The love has actually, increased in us, and now we're not in those spaces and those places. So I'm not really into saying you got to forget what happened.
Right.
I don't think that's it. I don't even believe that's biblical. I think they took that from a scripture. Like Paul said, forgetting those things that are behind.
Yes.
Towards the mark. Now that does, that's a whole nother situation.
Yeah.
They take certain scriptures and they put them in different places, but you got to rightly divide the word of truth.
Right.
And sometimes it's good for you to remember certain things, because then you can identify it when it come up again. You can say, that's a red flag. I've been through that. I can see the fruit of that. So now I don't have to replay that. So that's why God give us a memory. But emotionally, I can disconnect from how I felt from that situation, how it brought me into because I dealt with anger. And my anger, I wanted to retaliate. But now I'm in a place, if you do something to me, because of how I've navigated through my own emotions, I don't have to retaliate.
I'm gonna say this here. It's crazy how it's not crazy, but it's amazing how God used the closest thing to you to change you.
That part.
It's a like if you look at it, if your job is the closest thing to you, He will allow things in that job that you will go through that will change you. And you said your kids were the closest thing to you, so He used your kids to change you. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you probably wouldn't have went through what you went through with your kids, you probably wouldn't have been the apostle. You probably wouldn't even be able to on here helping people, because I believe that you helping somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because who not going through something?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And who's not harboring those feelings and internally, because and the reason why I ask you that question is because, and I don't know, God does things, but I asked you that question because yesterday I thought that I had forgiven the situation. Right. Because at one part, like, I was so angry to where I was waiting to run into, some of them have gotten killed since then. However, I've been waiting to see or waiting for something to happen.
Right.
That was my thoughts, waiting on something to happen to make me feel better, right? To make me feel like I got my lick back. You know what I mean? My emotions, and so my battle yesterday was okay, Lord, did I really forgive them for what they did? Because I'm angry today.
Right.
I'm feeling the emotions behind it today.
Right.
And so the reason why I asked that is because I really wanted to know for myself. I want to do right, of course, in the eyes of God and what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to feel.
Right.
But then I felt like I was convicting myself. I felt convicted because of my emotions and the way that I felt, because I haven't forgotten.
Right.
Like people say, you forgive and you forget. No,
I'm gonna say this here, and I say this here in marriage. I'm saying this in marriage, because in marriage you have to learn how to forgive.
For sure.
You have to, in relationships, you have to learn how to forgive. So I'm gonna say this here, being able, and I know some people probably going, well, I move forward, but being able to, I say I know that I forgive, because when I don't forgive, I'm stuck.
Yeah, you still feel a certain
stuck.
type of,
I'm stuck in this. I'm stuck in just this. I mean, when I forgive, I start moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
I start just moving forward.
Yeah.
And of course, I know when I'm moving forward, but because I sat so long in this, in unforgiving, that when I start feeling the unforgiveness coming, I, like she said, I know how to go to God and pray.
Yeah.
Yes.
To keep moving,
to change your mindset,
because I know what it feels like to be stuck in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So yesterday you got stuck in it.
I got stuck in
but
it.
then you knew how to pray.
Yeah.
To get out of it. Man, you done made me feel a certain type of way for real, because like a lot of people don't understand that forgiveness is hard.
Yeah, it really is. And a lot of people will say it.
Yeah.
But then you keep bringing it up.
Yeah,
you keep repeating it. You keep bringing it up. So and you're absolutely right. Like sometimes you're stuck in it, and sometimes it takes a conversation, a communication for you to express it so that you can openly forgive the situation or the person, right?
Navigate.
You
have to navigate those emotions.
But if you find yourself stuck in it, and then you say, you pray or do whatever it is that you do, and you start moving forward, forgiveness is kicking in.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is kicking in
that.
when you start moving forward, because when you anger rests in the bosoms of fools.
Yeah.
And you will sit in there, and you will just sit there, because I've done it.
Yeah.
Been angry,
we all have.
Just sit.
We
there.
all have, and sometimes you sit in it because what word did I use? Sometimes you stubbornly sitting in it because you want to prove a point to be right about what it is, and you want the other person to feel how you felt. You know what I mean? And so you're treating them a certain type of way because of how you feel, and all of those things. And then, like you said, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard in those, and it's hard to raise the white flag sometimes. It really is. And so I think a lot of times we sit in those things, and then oftentimes, as you said, you sit in it for so long, or you stuck in it. Then you start thinking like, okay, I done sat in this too long. Like, okay, something got to change.
And
something gonna have to
think
give.
Forgiveness starts first. You got to forgive yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to forgive yourself first. Once you forgive yourself, then you can start just moving into forgiving others.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's key.
For sure.
That's key. And it's called man, my mind is
I know, I couldn't even think of the word, because even generational. So let's talk about generational forgiveness.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, Lady D, because oftentimes this could be something that happened in your childhood that you harboring. And then because of you not, let's talk about the approach, because you said that you and your kids had to go through this. You had to navigate through this. So let's talk about, how did y'all do that? Because I think that people don't understand, or what are some steps? Give us some tips. How did y'all go from the unforgiveness to the forgiveness, and being open enough to even share the difference in the two?
Okay, so just a little background. It was right at the time I was getting ready to get remarried. And so my daughters were grown now, so they felt like they had something to say about, okay, mama, you don't need to be married. It was just all kind of things. So they took it to other kind of disrespectful levels because they felt like they was adulting. And so we wasn't feeling each other. So with one daughter, it got a little bit out of hand. And so her words of expression wasn't matching with how I raised her. Because she never been disrespectful, but her words was getting very out of hand. So I literally set that daughter aside for 1 year. I didn't deal with her for 1 year. When she came back, I prayed. It was the humility in both of us. We had to humble ourselves.
Right.
I had to ask her to forgive me for where I erred, and she was like, "Mom, forgive me for where I erred." You have to have a conversation. And I want to go back to say this: when you know you're forgiven, because the peace of God, you're not affected anymore.
That's it right there.
The peace of God.
Yeah.
So as we were navigating through rebuilding our relationship, and reestablishing a relationship, the peace of God continued to sit on us. And so when it was time to revisit certain parts of the conversation, we will feel that peace. Because one thing about it, even when you come back together with somebody, if it's still confusion, and that conversation turns into an argument, then y'all not over it.
Right.
Forgiving each other. It's still you trying to prove a point. When you were wrong, no, you were wrong. And so then it's gonna come back and it's gonna be another nasty thing.
Yeah.
So you have to give yourself time. You have to, especially with children and even spouses. Spouses need time. Listen, go over there, let me go over here, let me navigate through my mind and my emotions, and where something else can be stemming from. Because sometimes when husbands and wives get into a conflict, it's not always about the husband or wife. It can be something that came from your childhood.
Right.
You're still angry about. You still got daddy issues or mommy issues. So you have to navigate through your emotions. The Bible said, cast down your imagination, all your thoughts, bring it to God. When you really submit your mind to God and ask for wisdom, Lord, how do I situation and these circumstances with any person in my life? If you want to continue to build that relationship, or if it's some kind of trauma that you had, that somebody did something to you and you know you got to let them go, but you're not just letting go of the person, but you want to let go of all the feelings of anger and jealous and resentment. We talk about real issues. Listen, people have went through some traumatic things, some hurtful things. Hurt is real. Pain is real. And sometimes you need to talk to somebody. You need counseling. You need a person in your life. Well, sometimes you talk to 4 or 5 people. You get from so many different angles. And so, but when that peace takes over you, nothing like the peace of God. And you can sit in that peace. You're not sitting in anger. You're not sitting in resentment. You're not sitting in frustration. You're not sitting in I want to retaliate.
I like that.
The peace of God, you let God handle it, then you know that you have forgiven.
One thing that you said that I want to go back to is when you said, and I think the word is accountability, and that's the word that I was looking for. Accountability is you holding yourself responsible for what you did. And then she had to hold herself responsible for what she did. And once y'all did that, y'all were able to come to the table and really talk to each other. And I think that that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they too busy blaming. When you don't hold your because remember, when you point the finger, you got 3 pointing back. So holding yourself accountable for what you did first and foremost, that's gonna start the peace in your life right there. And how I know, because I did it. Once I held myself accountable for what I did, it's a peace that it was like a load lifted off of me. You understand what I'm saying? And then everything just started falling in line.
And then understanding that I think my cousin put it, forgiveness you for you, like having to forgive yourself first, that you are human and you are going to make mistakes, you know, and just like we said in the beginning of the show, making your wrongs right, and having to had a conversation last night with Keith, with Sonny. And I was saying, sometimes we have to do a self-reflect test. Like we have to look at ourselves and understand in certain situations, how did I handle that? How could I have done that differently? How did I have some past things that's a trigger for me? And because I'm still not, as you say, Lady D, because I don't have the peace of God in a certain situation, now it's carrying over in other situations.
To everything.
And so you're looking at this person, or you're looking at this situation like the last situation that has absolutely nothing to do with either one. And so I also think that with generational curses, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision to, okay, this is what happened. If you're not going to have the conversation, you know, talk to God in order to release it from your heart. So that you can move forward. Because a lot of times we carry it, or some have carried it into generations, and it becomes a generational curse. Because you haven't dealt with and received the peace from those situations and those scenarios, or it's a repeat. You're a repeat offender.
Yeah.
You just know, it's learned behavior. So you continue to do it. So I thank God that you guys came to a place as a family to say, okay, we're going to break this right now at the root so that we can move forward. And then it doesn't have to carry on in your children's children and their children and continues to move forward.
And I keep this in my head. I keep this in my head throughout the day. And this too shall pass. This too shall and that's very for me. I understand that this will pass. Whatever it is. Because nothing stays the same forever. And I know as long as I'm praying and I'm talking to God, I know the word through. I know He's gonna carry me through. And it's gonna pass, So again, right or wrong. She right or wrong with her kids. And now you benefiting the relationship part of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you smiling now. Look at that smile on your face. You understand what I'm saying?
It's a bond because, and then I think sometimes when because I was a very strong mother. And so what happened was I forgot that as they got older, they had a voice. And so I didn't bring it I should have brought it to the table a different way. Not just demanding, but listening to what they heart is. Now relationships, I know how to really talk to my adult children. And we are good friends. I'll be like, how you feeling about this?
Right.
You have to shift in your parents. Now they was babies. Now they have an opinion. You have to listen to how they feeling. And you can't overlook that. So have the conversation with your children. I always try to find out where are they in their emotions, and some things can be avoided.
And I say the best thing that you can do, and I learned this from my kids, is just sit and listen. And if you sit and listen, they'll tell you everything. Anything that you want to know, if you just sit and listen, you'll get the answer. You'll get.
And
what
I think that's the relationship that my mom has. My mom was. I learned to respect her from my grandmother, right? Because she respected her mother, and so we learned that was the learned behavior. We were nurtured into respecting our mother, right? But I love the fact that even and I'm going to use this. Some may have thought that it wasn't a respectful conversation because of the dynamic of what I was talking about. I still knew how to go to her with respect in that conversation. And I think that's something, it's all in the communication. And I love the fact that we have that type of relationship. That if I can go to, I know that she's the best friend I can go to, and she's not going, and it's called, we listen and we don't judge.
And you know what? It's called boundaries. It's called boundaries. You can go to her expressing your emotions, but the emotions have boundaries. I know not to cross this line and say this. I know not to do this. You know what I'm saying? I can go to this, but I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? So boundaries is one thing.
I'm glad that she was firm, but she also was a mother that is a mother that allowed me to be my authentic self, because she know me. I came from her, so she know me. So it was good. But Lady D, the reason why I wanted to have that conversation is because I know that your movement is forgiveness. And now I have a whole new respect for, not that I didn't respect it before, but now I understand the impact and why you're driving it so much, because you have a living testimony, your own living testimony within you and your kids. And I think it's very important for us to learn that, because we say it all the time, I forgive you. But deep down, we really, in some cases, don't. And people need to understand. And like you said, people will take the scripture, they'll mismanage it. I'm going to use mismanage. They'll make it fit for whatever situation they want it to fit for. And that's not what the scripture means. However, I think people really need to understand, like, how do we get beyond? So I appreciate you for sharing, and it being a continuous movement. So let's talk about what you have coming up in the month of April, and then also talk about how people can come and get your workbooks, let's talk about that real quick.
Okay, so I have a forgiveness movement. It's going to be in Dallas. Actually, it's called DeSoto, Texas, and but it's at an exclusive location, because this particular house is only filled for so many people. But so I kind of shifted, because I want to deal with leaders. If leaders can be healed first, then we can have a pure heart and clean hands. Heart and clean hands. If the leaders have their hearts are healed, then we can impact the congregation, the people. And then we can see families restored, marriages restored. We can see a healthy relationship between mothers and daughters and fathers and sons. Because we continue to see this in the earth, right? This unforgiveness, this battle, this outrage, anger, in all type of situations, all type of relationships. So, and I got the workbook right here.
Come on, workbook.
So this workbook, me and my daughter did this workbook together, and we had issues too. And as we did this workbook together, because she actually did the design of the workbook, we kind of navigated through our emotions, because she was able to tell me some things and I was able to have an ear to hear, and it just healed our relationship. And now we're even closer. After listen, God is so good.
See what forgiveness do?
Yes.
You see what forgiveness do?
Yes. I love it.
Oh man,
it helps you navigate through the emotions. Some things you just got to really be able to see yourself, see where you are, and see where your heart is. Because sometimes we bury things. You know what I'm saying? Because we still live and we gonna live, right? But we bury things and then we cry at night, and we have those underlining. And then if somebody tap into that place or hit that place, then it all explodes.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was like that. No, she been like that, but she didn't have anything to rub that place. Will help you just navigate, be healed. You can do it by yourself, do it with your family, do it with your children, do it with your spouse, or do it as a group. So you can order this on Amazon, or you can inbox me because I have some on hand.
Okay. Awesome. So where can they get the tickets to come to the event?
So I'm that's what I was saying. I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to bring it to Houston. I'm gonna have 2 in this year.
Okay.
Deal with the leaders, and we're gonna deal with the leaders in Dallas. We're gonna have a total healing, just a blessing of healing and a washing, and then we're gonna come to Houston and open it up to the public.
Come on. That's the way to do it, though. Get the leaders ready. Get them together. Get them together. I definitely appreciate and definitely appreciate you for just your yes and saying that this is something that God has positioned me to do. This is an assignment that I have and continuous, because I believe that this is something that we need for the rest of our life. For the rest of our life.
Hey, I'm gonna use the word. I'm flabbergasted. No, seriously though. It's amazing how forgiveness works.
Yeah.
It's amazing how, again, God used the closest thing to you to change you.
And then
when you forgive, you able to do things together, like a workbook that's gonna bless others.
Yeah.
That's gonna bring families closer together. And then God allow you to go through things so you can get to this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, God is good, and I love it. I love it, man. Got me teared up over here.
Come on, Deacon K. You was Romeo K last week.
I'm past the K today.
You passed the K.
Yeah, I be past the K today. Yeah. Father God, we come to you now. Seriously, seriously though, to see family means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So to see family can distance themselves, because you don't know who you helping. Because it might be a family that's distant right now.
Yeah.
And they see somebody that went through it.
Yeah.
Through it. That's the key. Went through it.
Yeah.
And then back together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and then the work. And it's gonna take work. It's gonna take uncomfortable conversations. It's gonna take you having to be honest with yourself. It's gonna have to take
accountability.
You pulling the layers back and saying, this is what I'm battling with internally. And so that's why I think this is so important.
Yeah.
And I love the movement that it's just not a one and done, that you're continuous, because people need to release.
Yeah.
And also people are dropping like fly.
Yeah.
Listen, life is but a vapor, because there are people that are leaving this side of life and never have this conversation. And so you're sitting and you're dwelling in something, and you don't get the opportunity to live on the other side of what that situation or scenario is. And so my prayer is, this is my prayer.
Yeah.
My prayer is, and I know David gonna get on here and say something, but this is my prayer. My prayer is that y'all do not take this moment today and not go and do what you know you need to do. Because if tonight you close your eyes and somebody don't wake up tomorrow, you're going to wish that you didn't have the selfish decision to say that I'm not going to talk about this. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to live stubborn and unhappy and not be able to enjoy the days that you can with your friends and with your family. Now, am I saying that all of the things that you need? No, because some releases are released for a reason. But when there is something that you have a son, a mother, a daughter, a father, a relative, fix it.
Yeah.
It's just a simple conversation. And if it doesn't go the way that you hope it would go, at least you will be at peace with yourself, knowing that I did all that I could do.
Yes.
Men, whatever that was.
You know what the crazy thing is a lot of people, because I'm actually teared up, but the tears I understand are from me understanding and seeing God move.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Seeing God move. Because again, I keep saying this, but I know that this is gonna help somebody.
Yeah.
I know for the fact that it's gonna help somebody.
Absolutely.
You know, so
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So Lady D, tell everybody how they can follow you, how they can stay connected to you in this forgiveness movement, so that when you come back to Houston and you're not in DeSoto or even whatever it is that you're doing, they can make sure that they stay connected to you.
Okay, thank you. Let me drop this real quick because I heard when y'all was saying, if you inbox me, because if you inbox me, you can come to the location if you inbox me, because it's going to be, because it's married couples.
Okay.
But then it's a safe place for men to come.
Okay.
Men on one side, and we're going to have the women on the other side. So men can be able to speak among themselves. So we're going to have that in DeSoto.
That's good.
So, but inbox me for that information, and then I'll tell you how you can be a part of that. But you can follow me on social media, on Facebook, Dynette Cherie. And I don't know all my social media sites.
That's okay.
I didn't write them down. So just follow me on Facebook, Dynette Cherie. And that's really it. I'm so sorry. I didn't write them down.
It's okay. Yeah. Your business page is Divine Servitude.
Oh, Divine Servitude Reaching Ministries. Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. I knew I was gonna remember something.
Yeah. So
something.
Let me ask you, so are we finna get off air in a few minutes?
In a few minutes.
Okay, so because I was sitting like this with the apostle. With the apostle on, when the apostle go off, I'm gonna be able to,
you're gonna slouch down. You're gonna slouch down.
It's okay.
No, but some other upcoming events that we have on March the 29th this weekend, we got Jordan's Heart.
Come on.
We got Jordan's Heart taking place on the north side of Houston. So y'all make sure that y'all come out. Matter of fact, this is a good segue for what we talked about today, because there's going to be therapists, counselors. We're going to have family fun, food. We got DJ, photographer, games, activities, moonwalks, all of those different things, face painting for your kids.
Right.
So bring your family out. Bring your family out. If you know that there's some things that you need to forgive, or there's something that you want, bring them out, have a fun day, be able to speak with someone, get some further information so that you can set up some time and navigate through what you have going on internally when it comes to your family, even your friends. We're going to have a good time. So y'all make sure that y'all come out. Lady D event, she did just speak about that. April the 27th, we got Boots and Business Brunch.
Come on.
That's taking place at the Rustic with myself, Candy Green, also Tiffany Oh So Simple. We're going to be in there where you're going to get some empowerment, but you're also going to get some business. And when I tell y'all, we got a fun-filled day on that day.
Will y'all
it
have
comes
those
with
fans
the brunch.
things going?
Yeah, we probably going to have the fans.
Okay. Wow.
We probably gonna have fans, but wear your boots, get your boots together, because boots are gonna be on the ground for real.
Right.
Not just the song, but they definitely gonna be on the ground for real. We got brunch. It comes with brunch, $54.99. It also comes with the empowerment of 3 speakers. We got a 360 booth. We got all type of stuff happening on that day. So y'all make sure that you don't sit and miss out on your moment.
Right.
Don't miss out on your moment. If you can spend $10 a day on Starbucks coffee, you could take that $10 a day and come and elevate that to hundreds of dollars just by being in the room. So y'all make sure that you go to MikaDiamondInc.com, grab your tickets. We only have 12 tickets left.
That's it.
12 tickets left.
That's it.
With a room full of folk.
That's it.
And we got some amazing vendors as well. So y'all make sure that y'all come out, rock with us on April the 27th.
Right.
We look forward to that day. So nice. Tell them what else you got.
Hey, if you want to do a podcast, get at me, 832-372-6874. You can come on and you can bring people on. You can do your testimony. You can play your music, whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to start, we provide a professional atmosphere. So it is what it is. And also T-shirts. If you want to get T-shirts, hit me up, 832-372-6874. Or just holler at me on Facebook. We'll get you taken care of.
All right, y'all. It's been an amazing Wednesday. Thank you so much, Lady D, for rocking with us, who rocks with us every Wednesday, but rocking with us on air today.
And I want to say this before we go.
Yeah.
Right or wrong.
Right or wrong.
Right a wrong that you been just sitting on.
Yeah.
Take the time today and just right that wrong.
Yeah.
And be intentional. Be intentional about what you're doing today. All right, y'all. So we'll be back next week, same place, same time, right here on GMT Radio, the Morning Tea Radio Show with your girl Mika Diamond
and your boy K Nix.
Y'all have an amazing Wednesday. We'll see y'all next week.